So this article caught my attention earlier. Okay, let me read it to you. Are you ready? This is from Reuters. Okay, exclusive. Dozens of former Bush officials leave Republican Party, calling it a Trump cult. Damn, those are strong words. Those are really strong words. And of course, you know, anytime you see a bunch of a bunch of neocons moving in one direction, we should find a word for them, right? Like a pride of lions, a pack of wolves. How would we refer to a bunch of neocons? Is there a word for rats or something? A pack of rats, whatever. It's a bunch of neocons. Anytime you see a bunch of neocons moving in one direction, go the other way. Okay, that's some sound advice. So anyway, look at this. Dozens of Republicans in former President George W. Bush's administration are leaving the party, dismayed by a failure of many elected Republicans to disown Donald Trump after his false claims of election fraud sparked a deadly storming of the U.S. Capitol last month. You know, I find that really interesting that they are so concerned about election integrity. Again, I don't expect all of you to remember this, but anyone remember Bush versus Gore? Specifically in the state of Florida? You know, the sentiment, a lot of the sentiment around that was that Bush stole the election, right? And you could still find people today and ask them about that, right? And they'll tell you the same thing. I mean, I remember that from when I was a kid. So that's how, you know, I have that memory still in my head of how people were outraged by that. So I find that very funny that all of a sudden Bush regime officials they are offended by claims of election fraud. Anyway, it's okay. Let's keep going, right? Let's give the article a chance, or the pack of rats rather, right? So there's Orange Cheetah Man. Have you missed him? So there you go. These officials, some who served in the highest echelons of the Bush administration, said they had hoped that a Trump defeat would lead party leaders to move on from the former president and denounce his baseless claims that the November presidential election was stolen. But with most Republican lawmakers sticking to Trump, these officials say they no longer recognize the party they served. Some have ended their membership. Others are letting it lapse, while a few are newly registered as independents, according to a dozen former Bush officials who spoke with Reuters. Wow. Heartbreaking, right? They've ended their membership? Oh my God. Quote, the Republican Party as I knew it no longer exists. I'd call it the cult of Trump, says Jimmy Goulet, who was Undersecretary of the Treasury for Terrorism and Financial Intelligence in the Bush administration. And so look at Christopher Purcell, who worked in the Bush White House's communications office for 6 years. You know, I love the Bush communications office, right? We have our friend, war criminal Karen, who now works for MSNBC, Nicole Wallace. She used to work there too. Oh, they used to be buddies. So he said roughly 60 to 70 former Bush officials have decided to leave the party or are cutting ties with it. Wow. 60 to 70? That's amazing. That's a lot of rats. That is a boatload of rats. I mean, that's a plate carrying rat pack of rats. So this is really hilarious. You know, I just need to interject here. I just need to interject because I find this sudden wave of disgust that is permeating the former Bush officials quite interesting. You know, like they are apparently so disgusted by Trump. I mean, if that was the last straw for them, if that was the last straw, why did they take so long to speak out, right? Why did they take so long to speak out? I just find that a bit weird. And among other reasons over here, okay, look what they say over here. This is another one. Purcell said many felt they have no choice, however. He referred to Marjorie Taylor Greene, a freshman Republican congresswoman from Georgia, who promotes the QAnon conspiracy theory, okay, which falsely claims that okay, you know the rest of this. So he's appalled by people who promote conspiracy theories. You know what? So am I. I'm also offended by that. Specifically, conspiracy theories about weapons of mass destruction. I think that is the worst kind of conspiracy theory that you could possibly promote. Because when you say another country, when you say another country has weapons of mass destruction, I mean, you better come packing, motherfucker. Like, you better be prepared to prove that shit. This is not like, oh yeah, this guy stole my gum, or you know, he's hiding a pack of fucking potato chips under the bed. No, you're saying you have nuclear weapons. You invaded this country and killed and displaced millions of people in that country because of this claim, right? I don't think you could come up with a larger conspiracy theory. I think it's the quintessential one. And these people were quite serious about this, right? You had Colin Powell at the UN Security Council, adamant, right? He gave a whole presentation. Look, he even brought like these graphics and shit with him. They just, I mean, can you imagine the intern who must have had to render these 3D models on a fucking computer in 2002, 2003? So yeah, can you like do us a truck and then like put like a bunch of tanks on the back? And yeah, put it in PowerPoint. Give me some of those like speech bubbles over there. Right. All right. Now that's a filling machine. This one does fermentation. Call that the control panel. We don't know what it does. It's just a control panel, right? They just made this shit up. They made this up. This is completely made up. We're in the year 2021. Iraq is still a mess. It's still under occupation because of this. Right. So I agree with the sentiment. We should not entertain conspiracy theories. And I'm just confused why you would only now leave the Republican Party and not when Bush was in charge. You don't think that was like a pretty fucking whack job conspiracy theory that killed millions of people? You don't think that was like really a point where you have to say, wow, I've had it with this party. Maybe I should fucking leave. No. Green did it. Really? That was your threshold. It wasn't George Bush creating the Department of Homeland Security? No? He didn't just do that, by the way, right? You know that Bush created ICE? Yes? Remember? Oh, the kids in cages. We kept hearing about the kids in cages. That Donald Trump is so evil because he's putting kids in cages. Okay, where are they now, the kids in cages? Oh, they're still there? Oh, shit. Oh, looks like you didn't have that big of a problem with it, right? Look at this article. It's so old, their images are not loading. Bush declares war, right? Bush declares war in Iraq. March 19th, 2003. Bush invades Afghanistan. At no point when he was starting the war on terror did you say, oh, maybe I should leave? No. Only now after Orange Cheeto Man. Wow. I'm so glad you finally had your epiphany. This did not prick your conscience, maybe? The Abu Ghraib torture scandal? No? That didn't do it? What about FEMA? You remember Hurricane Katrina? What Bush did? His fucking photo op. Do you remember this? Bush he allowed the press corps to take a picture of him while he was looking down on New Orleans after the hurricane because he thought it would be a good idea, and it blew up in his face, right? And then the idiot, he goes and tells the director of FEMA, Brown, he tells him, good job, right? I think this is the clip, but I don't think you can hear anything. It's an old clip, but here you can see them over here talking, right? He just says, good job. I like what you did.
The governor's office is so that does.
None of that offended you? Oh my God. Crazy, right? I'm supposing the tax cut didn't do it either, right? The enormous, ginormous, gigantic fucking tax cuts. That didn't do it for you either, right? That wasn't offensive enough? No? Wow. Crazy. What about the Patriot Act? Maybe the Patriot Act? You know? All this unwarranted, illegal wiretapping and surveillance, right? The presidential surveillance program that George Bush and Dick Cheney signed in the wake of 9/11. No, that didn't do it for you. What about the terrorist surveillance program? Illegal wiretapping of people outside the US. No, that didn't do it for you. It's crazy, right? I'm so confused that you have 60, 70 Bush officials that are only now finally having this light bulb moment. It's astonishing, right? Given all these examples, it's quite astonishing. It's almost as if these people are trying to whitewash their records for having participated in all of this villainous, disgusting, heinous shit that I've just shown you, right? That have laid down the groundwork for all the administration since, right? So now they found, oh shit, we can blame Trump for the Republican Party being such a cesspit. Yes, let's do that. And then no one will focus on us and our records and what we did. No, bitch, I remember. You know, I was young, but I still remember. So no, you're not getting off. You know, no, that's not happening, man. They're really villainous. I mean, they're complete frauds. They're scum. But we shouldn't be surprised, right? You remember Colin Powell was speaking at the DNC convention? I mean, it's not like this just started now. We've seen these neocons jumping ship, the rats jumping ship already a few months ago, right? Remember this? Oh, yeah. So he went from lying about weapons of mass destruction at the UN Security Council to being a key speaker at the fucking Democratic Party's convention. I mean, that's quite a whitewashing. That's quite a good job of, you know, oh, there they are, the war criminals getting ready to fuck Iraq. You know, that's quite a whitewashing of one's record. It really is. It really is. It's quite a feat. And we also saw Republicans for Biden. Do you remember that? So they're still talking about this, right? Liberals need Republicans for Biden to stick around. No, I think we're okay. I think we're okay without the Lincoln Project, without this scum. I think we're okay. And right, we saw Glenn Greenwald writes here that Liz Cheney was working with Democrats to prolong the invasion of Afghanistan, right? And keep troops in Germany, of course, because they were outraged at how dare Trump withdraw troops, right? How dare he do that? So I think now you have 2,500 troops in Afghanistan, which is astonishing. Like, you have no one in the media talk about that, right? And if they do mention it, it's like, oh, this is not good. We have to, you know, we have to stay there. We have to stay there. And now you're hearing them talk about violating the peace deal that they signed and staying past May. The deadline is May. Get the fuck out. And now they're saying, oh, no, we can't do it. Look, Afghanistan is not she's not ripe yet. She's not wet enough, bro. We can't leave. This is bullshit. They've been doing this for 20 fucking years. Just go and Google how many articles you'll find about, you know, the withdrawal is too quick right now. We can't have that. Every fucking administration, the Bush administration, Obama, Trump, it never ends. It never ends. So, you know, they have no problem working with neocons, right? And I mean, literally a demon spawn. Like, this Liz Cheney is a demon spawn de facto. Like, she's by definition a demon spawn. She's fucking Dick Cheney's child. How could she not be a demon spawn? Look at her. Jesus Christ. I mean, this is a fucking photo album straight out of hell, right? Family picture gallery straight out of hell. This is horrendous. A literal demon spawn. And so Democrats have no problem working with neocons, right? They've been rehabilitating them for quite a while now. And, you know, once in a while, you also see skeleton Donald Rumsfeld come out of the closet. You know, they'll prop him up on a chair for an interview with Stephen Colbert or something. You know, and of course, Bush was on with Ellen. Yeah, of course. It's one big happy family. Orange Cheetah Man bad. You know, it's okay, man. Bush created ICE. You know, he invaded, fucked up the Middle East. It's okay, man. The tax cuts, whatever. Who cares about that? Surveillance. You don't have constitutional rights. Look, man, Orange Cheetah Man bad. And that's why we're leaving the Republican Party now. Because everybody knows before the Capitol riots, before January 6th, 2021, or before January 20th, 2017, the Republican Party was a pristine establishment of only the highest caliber boy. Yes, only the finest. Everybody knows that. It's only until Orange Cheetah Man bad came along, only until Trump came along, that everything went sour. But before that, I mean, they could do no wrong, right? But I'm so glad. I'm so happy that 60 to 70 Bush officials, right, from the most villainous, scum, disgusting, just evil fucking regime in modern history, have finally seen the light and decided to part ways with their party. I'm so glad. I'm happy for them. I really am. You know. Oh Christ, fuck it. I can't get over how she's literally a demon spawn. Like, that's just some other shit, man. Anyway. So yeah, I just thought we'd start out with that, you know, given how, yes, that was the lighthearted bit, right? We're about to go into worse. So I just thought I'd share that with you.